Hello, I'm Henry R. Mockingbird, your host with the mustache. It's been a year since I've taken a look at the abomination that was the Mike Myers Cat in the Hat. So I figure I might redeem myself by taking a look at a good live action Dr. Seuss movie. So, put on your Terwilliger beanies as I dive in to the weird and wonderful world that is the 500 Fingers of Dr. T. Let's get going. A young boy named Bart dreams in his imaginary world where he's assisted by his family's plumber. They must save other piano-playing boys like himself from the dungeons of Dr. T, dictator and piano teacher. And he also has Bart's mother hypnotized. So what do I think? Well, I'll tell you. Well, I like it. I highly recommend this movie. If you're a fan of Dr. Seuss's work, or if you're a fan of weird movies in general, especially weird children's films, then I think you owe it to yourself to see this movie. This scene, I can't talk about it. I just gotta show it to you. It's so damn weird. So, here's the scene where Bart gets trapped in the dungeon, leading to this. Yeah, as impressive as this scene is, and as creative as it is with all the Seuss like instruments that the prisoners are playing, it doesn't really add much to the story and kind of brings the story to a screeching halt. And it kind of comes out of nowhere. After the success of Gerald McBoing, Theodore Geisel, aka Dr. Seuss, commissioned a script for the film, which was written in 1951. The story had themes of oppression coming out of World War II and world domination. After a poor test screening of the film's original cut, the film was heavily edited, and they added both the opening and the ending of the film to make it seem like it was a dream. The film originally had 20 songs, and 9 of them ended up being cut from the soundtrack. The film was released, the premiere audience left the theater 15 minutes into the film. Critics were not exactly kind to it, but over time it did manage to gain a cult following. Which brings me to the first reason why I think you should see the film, the production values. I mean, look at these sets. They look like they came straight out of a Dr. Seuss book. And Dr. Seuss was heavily involved with this production design, and man, does it show. Every set looks like a Dr. Seuss illustration come to life. Another reason why I think you should see the film, it's for its costume design. I mean, look at the costumes, especially the ones on Dr. Terwilliger. They are very Seuss-like. The weirdest and probably my favorite costume design is on the guards, who to me, their costumes kind of look like a combination of both the Oompa Loompas from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and the Oompa Loompas from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Now let's talk about the character. First, let's talk about the best character in the movie, Dr. Terwilliger, who's basically a dictator piano teacher who has every non-piano player locked in his dungeon. But boy, that ain't nothing compared to what his real plan is. His real plan is to have 500 boys playing his double-deckered piano. Must not make perverted, dirty old man joke. He's played by Hans Conried. No, I'm not playing the Captain Hook clip. I've already played it for both my Phantom Toll Booth review and my Cricket on the Hearth review. So you are not going to see... It's going to take a lot more than that. Damn clip. All jokes aside, this would not be the last time Hans Conried would play a Dr. Seuss character, as he was also the mayor and Horton in Horton Hears a Who. He was also the voice of both Zax and the narrator in Dr. Seuss Has Gone Loose. He was also the second person to play the Grinch in Halloween is Grinch Night. And in my opinion, this is his best Seuss character. Seriously, whenever he's on screen, it's basically the Dr. Seuss show starring Hans Conried. He is delightfully hamming it up 24/7 and like there is no tomorrow. He's the third and main reason as to why you should see this movie. Not only does his character, Dr. Terwilliger, have guards, but he also has two Siamese twins who are conjoined by the beards and ride around on roller skates. If that doesn't scream out Dr. Seuss, I don't know what does. And then there's our main character, Bard, who really hates playing the piano and really hates his strict piano teacher, Dr. Terwilliger. And in the dream, Dr. Terwilliger's planning on marrying Bart's mom, which is basically Bart's worst nightmare come to life. Bart is played by Tommy Rennig, who was also on the 1950s TV show Lassie.
Starring Tommy Rennig as Jeff Miller, Jan Clayton as his mother, Ellen, George Cleveland as Gramps, and, of course, Lassie.
Although this does raise the question, if Bart hates the piano so much, why doesn't Bart's mom get him into something a boy his age would be interested in, like baseball? Seriously, we see him with a baseball and a mitt, and in the corner, as you can see, there's a baseball bat. And then there's Bart's mom, who's a single mother, which is something you didn't really see a lot in 50s media, especially shows like Leave It to Beaver and Father Knows Best, which mostly portrayed family life as pretty healthy. So I do have to praise the film for that. And then there's the plumber, Mr. Zabadowski, who in the dream is probably the most realistic character. Mr. Zabadowski in the real world is already friends with Bart. In the dream, Mr. Zabadowski is the only person that Bart can turn to since almost everyone is out to get him in this world. And I really like the relationship between Bart and Mr. Zabadowski. They are really close and it's really sweet. I know a lot of people have criticized this relationship for being weird, but I will say this. In the movie's defense, their relationship is far more convincing than Conrad and his mother in Cat in the Hat. Whereas in that film, that relationship felt very hateful. We also get a hypnotizing duel between Mr. Zawodowski and Dr. Terwilliger. So you know what that means? Fight scene. Warning, the scene I'm about to show you is awesome. Like I said, this scene is pretty damn awesome. I mean, just look at the way they move. It's like a choreographed dance scene. Yeah, it's silly, but I'll take it over
Fun, he never learned you can.
that any day. And we also get another fight between Mr. Zawodowski and the bearded conjoined twins. So, you know what that means? Again, fight scene. This is the coolest thing ever. Where else are you gonna see a plumber fighting two Siamese twins conjoined by the beards on freaking roller skates? Now let's talk about the songs. Not only did Dr. Seuss write the script, and was also heavily involved in the production design of the film, but he also wrote the lyrics for the songs. Hell, the musical score for the film was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Musical Score. And while we're on the songs, they are pretty damn catchy. Let us start with the first song, 10 Little Dancing Fingers.
10 little dancing maidens dancing oh so fine. 10 happy little fingers and they're mine, oh mine. They're mine, they're mine. Now isn't that just fine? Not 3, not 5, not 7, and not 9, but 10
Next song is Dream Stuff. And is it just me, or does Mr. Zabadowski's singing voice sounds like Deadly Do-Right trying to sing opera? But all jokes aside, the song is nice.
Dream stuff, funny thing about this dream stuff. First it's there, then nowhere. Dream stuff, ever fleeting, ever shifting. Yet we could keep it from drifting if we'd only dare.
And then there's the extremely catchy song, Get Together Weather.
It's time we got together, cause it's get together weather. And in get together weather, together is just what we got to get.
Come on,
The weatherman's insisting, this is weather beyond resisting. This is get together weather, together is just what we got to get. What wonderful weather to go on an outing.
What wonderful weather to run around shouting.
What wonderful weather for love to be sprouting. It's mighty fine weather, I hope that it stays. What glorious weather for zipping and
What
zooming.
glorious weather for hearts to be blooming.
What glorious weather for briding and grooming. It's mighty fine weather we're having these days. Come on, the weatherman's reporting that the weather's right for sporting and for love and assorted courting. Together is just what we got to get.
What marvelous.
And then there's the song Just Because We're Kids, where Tommy Reddick's voice is dubbed by a very young Tony Bertetta, who would later go on to be a part of the singing group The Lettermen.
Now just because we're kids, because we're sort of small, because we're closer to the ground, and you are bigger pound by pound, you have no right to push and shove us little kids around.
And now there's the next song, We Are Victorious. And this song is rather unnecessary. Say what you will about the other songs, but at least they serve something of a purpose. This song only exists for the guards, just to gloat about how they beat the bad guys. And I don't know if it's just me, or am I getting something of a Third Right vibe from both this song and the scene? I mean, take a look.
Now isn't that too glorious? Our nasty team, no
I mean, seriously. Could you be subtle if you even tried? And speaking of not subtle, it's time. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to your nightmares for tonight. This is the Dungeon Song.
First floor dungeon. Assaulted simple tortures. Molten lead, chopping blocks, and hot boiling oil. Second floor dungeon. Jewelry department. Leg chains, ankle chains, neck chains, wrist chains, thumb screws and nooses of the very finest rope.
Yes, before you ask, Dr. Seuss did write all the songs to this movie, including this one. And believe it or not, there's actually a third verse. So, here it goes.
Third floor dungeon. Household appliances. Spike beds, electric chairs, gas chambers, roasting pots, and scalping devices.
And with that all out of the way, what the hell? I know I've already talked about this guy on my top 11 scariest kid movie moments, but it bears repeating. This guy, this elevator operator, is hands down one of the scariest things I have ever seen in a film intended for children. I mean, talk about out of nowhere nightmare fuel with the eerie music and that booming voice and the fact that he looks like a freaking executioner.
Second floor.
Approved for all ages. It's time for Dr. Terwilliger's song, Dress Me, and I dare you to try to get this catchy song out of your head.
Come on and dress me, dress me, dress me in my finest array. Cause just in case you haven't heard, today's Dormido Day. Dress me in my silver garters, dress me in my diamond studs. Cause I'm going doing in my Dormido duds. I want my undulating undies with the marabou frills. I want my beautiful bolero with the porcupine quills. I want my purple nylon girdle with the orange blossom buds. Cause I'm going doing in my Dormido duds. Come on and dress me, dress me, dress me in my peekaboo blouse with the lovely interlining made of Chesapeake mouse. I want my polka dotted dicky with the crinoline fringe, or I'm going doing on a Dormido binge. I want my lavender spats, and in addition to them, I want my honey-colored gusset with the herringbone hem. I want my softest little jacket made of watermelon suede, and my long persimmon placket with the platinum braid. I want my leg of mutton sleeves, and in addition to those, I want my cutie chamois booties with the leopard skin bows. I want my pink brocaded bodice with the fluffy fuzzy ruffs, and my gorgeous bright blue bloomers with the monkey feather cuffs. I want my organdy snood, and in addition to that, I want my chiffon mother hubbard lined with Hudson Bay rat. Dress me up from top to bottom, dress me up from tip to toe, dress me up in silk and spinach, for today is do-me-do, do-me-do day, do-me-do day.
I talked about most of the ups of the film. What are the downs of the film? Well, there are a few. Outside of this movie's weird affinity for pickle juice, the one problem with this movie is that it has a lot of continuity issues. Mostly due to the film's heavy use of editing. For example, there's a chase scene between Bart and the guards, and then Bart climbs a really tall tower, and you notice how there's a piece of paper in Bart's back pocket? That would not come into good use until the second act. And then later in the film, he tries to escape the dungeon, and you notice how the piece of paper isn't there? Yeah, to quote Dimitri from Cobra Kai on this one.
Have some continuity.
And like I said, 9 of the songs were cut from the film, but you can find it on the movie's original soundtrack. But for those of you who can't afford it, I'll play the songs anyways. First, there's We Are the Guard.
Oh, we are the guards who are terribly, terribly dear. Two terrible twins with a terrible Siamese dear. Oh, we are a thing. We're a thing you could not call a friend. One Siamese beard with a twin on each end. We're vicious and mean. We're unkind and unkempt and uncouth. We have been that way since our earliest youth. Each year we get worse, for that is the unfortunate trend of Siamese bears with a twin on each end.
And then there's the song Grindstone.
When we're born into this universe, we're born without clothes. The only thing that we are born with is a grindstone for our nose. You grind your nose on your grindstone, I'll grind my nose on mine. Just keep your nose off my grindstone, and everything's just fine. And everything's just fine.
And then there's the song I Will Not Get Involved.
For 20 million billion years, this earth it has revolved. Without my help, so let it spin, I will not get involved. Let the darn thing spin, let the darn thing spin, I will not get involved. This earth has 20 trillion kinds of problems to be solved. It's nothing new, so let it stew, I will not get involved. Let the old pot stew, let the old pot stew, I will not get involved.
And then there's the song Many Questions.
Please don't keep asking why. Some things are beyond explaining, and it's no use to try. Sure, I know you want the reasons why your world should seem so queer, why your little world should be so filled with so much fright and fear. Sure, I know you want to ask me, why must children suffer such pain? Well, when it comes to such things, that's not easy to explain. It's no good to try, it's no good to lie. Many
And then there's the Terwilligers song.
Terwillica. 1, 2,
Buckle my shoes,
3, 4,
shut the door,
5, 6,
pick up sticks,
7, 8.
lay them straight.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
I will follow where you go.
And then there's the song Money.
Money, 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 legal tender. It hasn't any sex appeal, it hasn't any gender. It hasn't any bright blue eyes, it has no ruby mouth, yet all the world is kissing it, east, west, north, and south.
Pretty much all I have to say about 500 Fingers of Dr. T. Well, until the next review, I'm Henry R. Mockingbird, your host with the mustache, signing off. I give this film 5 stars. Write, like, and subscribe to the channel and ring bell for future uploads. If you like to make a movie request on this channel, do so in the comment section below. And feel free to check out my other shows, Modern Classics, TV Treasures, and Geek Reviews. And check out my editorials.